back.
Way, way, way back.
Where did your love of design and fashion and whatnot come from? Or where
Uh,
does it come from?
so when I was so I went to a French school my entire life. So I was never like in the American system.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden I just
What's going on, everybody? It's Webster Style, the man, the voice of fragrance, here with someone who I get to call friend. It has been an amazing journey knowing her the past 5 years now. Can you believe it?
5 years?
Yeah,
Wow.
pre-pandemic, right? Um, it's been amazing watching her and really grow in her talents and really have much more of the world embrace her creativity. So it's been really fun watching next to her in some cases and some of the things we've done together as well as from afar, and just being really proud to say, hey, that's my friend. It's none other than Miss Frenchie Toulouse, who is the owner of J'aimoda LLC. Frenchie, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Eldon. Like,
Oh,
this is
thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you for being here. If you followed us during pandemic times, all of my wonderful masks with my logo were made by Miss Toulouse here. So she's definitely a master with the sewing machine when she's not cutting off appendages.
Very true.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you. I mean, first, we've talked, but we haven't really talked. How did New York Fashion Week come about?
So I decided 10 years ago when I started my company in Rome that my 10-year mark was going to be New York Fashion Week.
Hmm.
Within 10 years, I had to be at New York Fashion Week. So the company I used that represented me was Runway 7. They do spring and winter fashion shows. So one in September for spring summer, and then one in February uh, for winter. No, did I say that backwards? I
Probably did
think
because you would February be showcasing spring stuff, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so what I do is mostly costume design, and so I wanted to showcase my costumes on that stage because, fun fact, that was also the stage that the Victoria's Secret Angels walked
Oh,
on.
nice.
Yeah, so it's Sony Hall, and it's a really, really nice venue. It was incredible. So I saved up a bunch of money. I paid for my slot, and then I brought women that I thought deserved to be seen. Each one of the women I recruited for New York Fashion Week all had a specific talent, all had a dream. And I was able to make that dream happen for them. And it tied in with my dream.
Right.
So we were all able to support each other, which is absolutely magical because, competition destroys, whereas collaboration uplifts you. It helps you succeed. So why not keep that ball rolling?
Right. Right. It's funny because, when we were talking last year at Blurk, and French has also been one of my panelists for the Blur Car panel we've had the past couple of years as well. Unfortunately, we won't be doing it this year because somebody was busy and forgot the deadlines. uh, but we were talking, and it's amazing how so many of us creators are interconnected and we don't even know it. So if you watch me over on KFAB Baby, you see myself, Kuya P, and Sean Mongold. Well, Sean Mongold's wife, who he talks about all the time, is good friends with Frenchie, and we never knew until we were talking last year. It's like, oh my goodness, like we're all so interconnected, and it's really amazing. And talk about amazing women, Maki, and everybody else that were there. Just it's really amazing when you get a bunch of creators together, and especially when there's support. And one of the things I see on the outside looking in is that so many of you guys are constantly supporting each other in all of your efforts, and that's how everybody's really succeeding. I mean, even this Frenchie has supported me and things that I've done, and vice versa. We are always supporting each other. So you talk about New York Fashion Week. Where let's go back way, way, way back.
Way, way, way back.
Where did your love of design and fashion and whatnot come from? Or where
Uh,
does it come from?
so when I was so I went to a French school my entire life. So I was never like in the American system.
Mhm,
And then all of a sudden I jumped into the American system and I started George Mason University, where I discovered that I wanted to continue my passion for dance.
mhm,
Um, so I worked on that, and then I created a dance group with a few of my classmates, my jazz classmates, and we created GMU Dance Works for pretty much students who want to dance but don't have the capability of doing it full time as a major or a minor, but
mhm,
just like to be able to express themselves. Um, and with that, I also would go out to clubs, and be like, and then I would see these go-go dancers and I was like, "Oh my God, I wanna do that. I wanna keep dancing and I get to party while I'm dancing and I'm on stage," you know? So,
right,
like, it's the full package, it's a lot of fun, and I'm like and I would see these girls and how they were dressed, and it was, like, lingerie, and it's like, like, you go to Victoria's Secret, you buy a bra, maybe put a few gemstones on it, and wear
right,
2 pairs of panties, and that was the costume.
right,
Um, and that always, like I was like, "Okay, that's cute and all." Um, but there comes a point sorry, my cat is literally on my computer right now. So, like, there comes a point where you need to take it to the next level. Um, and so my little group, we ended up getting hired at Fur nightclub, which is, like,
okay,
back in the day, like,
right,
way back in the day. And so that's when I really started, like, making costumes, and it started out with being bedazzled bras and then, like, using pieces of fabric and tying them together just to make a different outfit, buying bodysuits from, dance companies and putting stones on it, just stuff like that, and, like, at the time, we were only 19, 20 years old, so, we were still going through changes, we have a bit of body dysmorphia, like, we wanna be the cutest, the hottest, the best, um, so that's kind of where my costume design and fashion design really stemmed from, and, then my mom kind of threw me in the deep end, and she's like, "Hey, so we're going to Rome, you're gonna take an exam for this fashion school," and I was like, "No, I don't wanna do an exam, like, I don't wanna go to school."
right,
And, like, I was really sick, so I couldn't pass the exam, and then so that was in August, and then September, I told my mom, I was like, "There's another exam, I'm ready, I wanna go to this school, I want to further my career, I want to make something of myself." So that's how that started, and I actually ended up getting bullied, because at the time when I started that school, I was 23, 24,
right,
and all these people were 18, 19 years old, um, and I was one of the 3 people who didn't actually speak Italian fluently at the time. So we were kind of in our own little clique, and we were just
mhm,
trying to figure things out as we went along. We were just, like, looking at other people. We would ask the students who spoke English or French, to try to explain stuff to us, only for us to realize that the one girl who spoke actual English was giving us the wrong information.
mm.
So, yeah,
It's
so
always
once
one of those, ain't it?
always. And she was also one of the girls who, accidentally spilled a cup of water on my 100 designs that was homework that took me an entire week to make. Like, you have to, like 100 drawings that are all completely different. It takes a lot of brain power.
Right,
So that screwed me over, and, like, I just went and then I ended up just going to the classes that I felt would benefit me.
mhm,
And I spoke with with the director and everything, and we figured something out. And then I was like, okay, so this is the path I'm going in. I specifically want to do costumes and not just fashion,
Right.
because to me, fashion is whatever you want.
Right.
It doesn't have to be functional. It doesn't necessarily have to look good. You just got to be able to wear it. Whereas costume design, you have to engineer the garment to flow perfectly, to not rip, to mold the body, to be comfortable.
Hmm.
Like, there's a whole process that goes along with it, which is what I pride myself on. And my costumes are created to be a second skin. So you have your skin, you stick that costume on, it's like a second skin on your body. And that's what I truly pride myself in. And that's what really started this adventure for me, because that's really what it is. It's a constant adventure because I get the randomest requests too, and I'm like, "Oh, I've never done this. Well, I'm gonna jump right in, push
Right.
myself, and see what I can do. If I can't do it, I will let them know. We'll try to figure something else out." But it's like I just finished a gown and I was just like, "I never wanna work with this fabric ever again. I'm not confident working with this fabric."
Right.
And it's sequins, like, I'm not confident working with plastic. I work with spandex. So whether it's polyester, lycra, cotton, bamboo cotton, fleece, nylon, it doesn't really matter as long as it's stretchy. So
Got you. Now, is there a particular reason why you go toward the stretchy fabrics, personally
there's
speaking, or
well,
maybe functionally?
there's more room for error.
Hmm.
I also think that it is softer on the body. It's easier to be worn. You don't have all the constrictions of a belt.
Mm.
Um, like, you get that stretchiness, and that's the thing, like, a lot of the times your body's gonna fluctuate.
Right.
So, if you have a garment that isn't stretchy, sometimes you may be able to wear it, sometimes you might not be able to wear it. But if you wanna wear it at that time, you can't fit in it, what's the point in having it?
Right.
Whereas if you have stretchy fabrics, it doesn't matter, you can fluctuate between a medium and a large, which is what my body does,
Hmm.
and all my clothes still fit me. So, yeah.
Understood. Now, with the costumes, what are, I guess, in your opinion, minus New York Fashion Week, because I'm pretty sure you're very proud of everything you've done that you did there. What are some pieces you made that you're most proud of?
Well, so in March, I was very blessed and I got to make these amazing costumes for the Ultra Angels. So they're the go-go dancers who perform at Ultra Music Festival all around the world, basically. And these ones were for Miami specifically. They were for the Shuffle Hype Squad. And like those were some pieces I spent months really like thinking about what would look good on them, like
Hmm.
basically stalking their Instagram and looking at the color scheme, the style, the size of the girls, um, just different things to make sure that like these costumes would fit these ladies
Hmm.
and represent what the Ultra Angels are. And they're like super well dressed, beautiful women that literally look like angels that just entertain you. So like that was something I'm really proud of. I can also send you some pictures.
Cool.
Um, yeah. And then let's see what else. Like I going back to Maki. So Maki is actually we ended up doing kind of a sponsorship. So I sponsor half of her costumes,
Hmm.
and then she like for other costumes she pays me for them. So Maki's another individual who pushes me out of my comfort zone. Um, she always we push each other That's the thing. Like and that's like where our unconditional support lies. Like we're constantly pushing each other, constantly telling each other how proud we are, constantly just like being there, being like, hey babe, I got your back. Like whatever you need, I'm here for you. And so she's actually pushed me. I don't know if you saw her pictures from her March DC Burlesque show.
Yes.
So I made her green outfit. And so that was definitely a process because it was something that I had never made. And I got this idea to make it super, super sexy because it's for Nerdlesque.
Right.
Um, so it has to have that extra little, like that's some cheeky, cheeky stuff. Like you like that. So that was definitely that put me out of my comfort zone. But it looked really good. She looked amazing in
Yes.
it. Um, but yeah, and then I have, another piece I'm really, really proud of, is for another sponsee that I have. Her name is Tracy. She's an incredible, incredible aerialist. She's also, a teacher. She teaches at Dynamic Hammock, which is she's a partial owner of that company, if I'm not mistaken. And she's also my guinea pig for a lot of things.
Okay.
Um,
She
and
knows
so
this, right?
oh, yes, she
Okay.
knows this.
Right.
She knows this. Yeah, because a lot of the time she'll get very wonky costumes, but even through the wonkiness, they still fit her really well. They hold up, and it's like only I know that they're wonky because I made them. Um, but a lot of the time I test out different fabrics on her, different styles because she does a hammock silk. So the costumes need to be like on her skin, or they have like, or it's like her skin is exposed, or she wears a full body stocking. Um, so it like pushes me to play around with different materials, to play around with different shapes. And I made her a liquid stegosaurus romper.
Oh
uh,
wow.
yeah, and it's like it was neon pink and neon green and neon yellow, and like there was like the spine on the back, and I'll get you pictures of that. Um, yeah, so that was and that was actually the beginning of the inspiration for New York Fashion Week, which
Mhm.
was also the inspiration for the Ultra Angels. Is that Stegosaurus spine on the
Mhm.
back. Um, oh no, we have a kitty cat coming here. Okay, there you go. So yeah, that's really like where it came from. And um I did notice recently that my love for dinosaurs has been coming out because I have been putting like dinosaur elements in my costumes.
Mhm.
And it's just it looks really, really good. It looks unique. It's
Right.
you don't see that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I was thinking that that's very different. You it's weird, like as a kid, dinosaurs like the thing, but nobody talks about dinosaurs out now. Nobody is really inspired by dinosaurs like when I was a kid. Everything, look, 80s, everything was dinosaurs, like late 80s, into the early 90s. Everything was dinosaurs. Now nobody talks about dinosaurs. Who cares about dinosaurs? So yes, that is definitely unique and is different and it stands out in today's era and climate.
Yeah. So, and like I really like dinosaurs. I think dinosaurs are absolutely incredible creatures. And
Agreed.
like there's so much we don't know about them because we have this misconception of what they were when they lived. And it's like all the timelines don't match up when you actually put them all together. So it's
Right.
like dinosaurs are cool. We should bring them back.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And you're definitely doing it with your designs.
Yeah. So that's kind of like my favorite pieces that I remember because I mean like over the years I've created thousands of pieces. Like I said, I've been doing this for a decade.
Right.
So, I have seen the shift in my quality.
Okay. I'm
Um,
hoping that's a shift upwards.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, through COVID, making all those masks and really, like, having time to just create. I started a 30-day challenge that I never finished. I made it to day 7, and I was like, "I'm tired." Um, but coming up with all those designs, like, I did an avatar. That was a good one. I did
Mhm.
a Avatar: The Last Airbender, cosplay. It's like a sexy cosplay, and, like, I did a lot of cool designs that were never really seen because of COVID.
Right.
But I noticed because I was actively working towards that, and I was trying to come up with different things, the quality of my garments, of my costumes just shot up. Shot up tremendously because I was actually taking the time to learn. I was watching videos, I
Mhm.
was talking to friends. I was like, "Hey, like, you do this, like, I've seen you put, like, a zipper in this way, like, do you have any references or anything that you could tell me to guide me to do this?" Because zippers are a bitch. They are very hard to sew, and I really don't like sewing them.
I remember you saying that exact phrase to me before in a conversation. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm having deja vu because you said this before.
They're hard. You have to have a specific foot for the machine because the zippers I use are invisible zippers. So you have to sew it a specific way so that you can still unzip it, but you don't see it when it's on the body.
Right.
So, like, you have to have, like, a specific stitch, a specific length, specific tension with a specific foot, and, like, you have to, like, separate it and hold it and then just, like, and then and just keep going, and it takes forever. But once it's done and if it's done properly, it looks really, really good. So,
Understood. Understood. Now I have to ask you, Frenchie, are you wearing any fragrances? If so, what are you wearing?
so I wear this is, like, the only fragrance I wear. It's lavender by L'Occitane, which
Okay.
is a French company, from Provence, from the south of France, where their main thing is lavender.
Okay.
And the reason I love lavender is because it's a very and it's oh, I have to be specific, French lavender, because English lavender smells very different than French lavender.
Yes.
And I like French lavender because it's like it's a form of antiseptic. It smells fresh.
Yes.
It kills body odor. It disinfects. It's just one of those, like, it's just clean and fresh, and it meshes well with your body odor no matter what type of body odor you have. So that's my go-to, L'Occitane. um, Lavender. I think it's like lavender cologne or lavender, um, uh, mist or spray, something like that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna first ask any big events coming up for you for J'aimoda.
Um, Not really. I'm working on New York Fashion Week for this year.
Okay.
Um, and then I also have Markoff's Haunted Forest in October, where I am actually a professional scarer.
Okay.
Um, yeah, which is a lot of fun. And then I have my girls perform fire, so I make costumes for them, which have to
How
be
does that
parts.
look on your resume? Professional scarer.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look like that's just
Um,
unique.
and it's a workout. It's a whole thing. And if you want in October, we can do a whole thing on Markoffs and Haunted Forest and all
Cool.
that.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole other topic, which
Yes.
is amazing.
Well, Frenchie, thank you very much for your time. Let everybody know where they can find you and J'aimoda.
You can find
J'aimoda.
me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at J'aimoda LLC, Jaimoda LLC. Um, and then you can find me on Facebook and Instagram on my personal page at Frenchie FRANCH1E. So
All right. Well, thank you, Frenchie. You should have seen all that flash down below. If not, you missed it. A bit slow, but it's down in the show notes if you want to check them out. And Frenchie, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You guys, thank you for tuning in. Remember, thank you for your listening ear. Thank you for your time. And remember, stay safe out there and be blessed. We out. Peace.